Welcome to the S.H.O.P, the social hub of positivity. We're actually in the social hub of positivity in the what is this called, Donna? It's called the
booths of self-reflection.
Booths of self-reflection. I'm reflecting with this wonderful person. And now you hear me say wonderful about lots of people because I think most people are, unless of course they're one of our local politicians. However, this human being is gonna be a new party, new politician. Peter Force-Jones, would you, just as an introduction, because we're going to go into great detail as the weeks and months go by, looking at various local issues. Now, we can think on a national and an international level, but actually, when you screw down on some of the local politics and some of the decisions that have been made, both councils and MPs, I think people, if they're kind of sentient and able and connect with their empathy, will change and need to understand why we need to change the political situation. Peter, over to you. Who are you, and why? What do you do, and why are you doing this new? Tell us a bit about this new party.
Tell us a bit about the party.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Pete Force-Jones, as Ed's just said. I'm standing in the Devizes constituency, which will become East Wiltshire. I'm standing for the party set up by Gina Miller called True and Fair. We believe politics needs to change in this country. We've had too much corruption. We've had bad behaviour from our politicians. It's not helping.
And you come from not as from a perspective of some nest feathering.
I'm not a politician.
No, you're actually a real person. This is weird. This is weird. He's a real person. You work as a.
I'm working as an assistant teacher, and previously I was a teaching assistant. So I kind of flipped the two words over.
So very important role in our society. Really massively I don't know if people realise this. Massively underfunded, massively undersupported. Sociologically speaking, it's massively. Socially and on all levels, teaching and education, we work with some fantastic schools, but they're all up against it.
So yeah,
right.
Schools are lacking funding. I mean, everyone's going to be aware of the teaching strikes at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know, because if you watch mass media, I guess you wouldn't be.
Well, it does depend on the channel, I guess. Some are talking a bit more than others.
Or this channel, obviously.
I'm talking about it.
Are three of you out there listening to this? Are you listening to this? This is amazing. The whole Gina Miller story is amazing. We're going to put stuff linked, Maya, onto Gina Miller, some of her history, your party's strapline and what you're going to do. We're going to screw down this, and I'm obviously going to invite Michelle Dondon. I know she's on maternity leave, but I think not that anyone would notice that our local politician wasn't doing what they should be doing. We'll look at people's voting records. We're going to look at Danny Kruger. Danny Kruger, what a name for a guy. Danny Kruger. Now, I have heard the name Kruger before. Nightmare on Elm Street. God damn you, Danny. You shouldn't have a name like that and then become a conservative. Don't you know it's going to scare the horses and the kids? However, the voting record of each of the MPs in the local areas and of the local councillors. So we're going to screw down at any councillors or any MPs or prospective MPs that want to have this, want to do one of these podcasts. You're more than welcome. We'll write to you and invite you, particularly our fake mayor. But here's the crack. What is it that you would like to achieve in the next, what is it now? Hopefully not too long before the next election. But what sort of things are you going to be looking at? We'll go into this in great detail over the months, but what is it?
We're going to be looking at a broad range of topics. We're looking at education, overhauling Ofsted. Massively, where I've been working recently in Newbury, there's a teacher who decided to. Oh my God! Do you remember the story?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So the teacher decided to block Ofsted from coming into a school. Was eventually probably overruled. Ofsted came in, but it has raised the topic just by saying, actually, no, we're not going to let Ofsted come in.
Yeah.
This all dates back, for those who don't know, a head teacher local to Newbury committed suicide.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
And it's unfortunately not the first case.
Yeah. So that's the sort of pressure that head teachers and teachers are under. It's absurd. Overcrowded classrooms. So why anyone would think it was a deliberate ploy but see, here's the bit, okay? I don't know what you think about this. I'm going to put it out there. it's not a race war, people. If you look at the current government, you'll see that it's not about race. It couldn't possibly be. So this country is very tolerant on race, certainly when it suits it. However, it's definitely about class, because if you look at the class of people, as in not how much class they've got, because we've all got class, darling. What I'm talking about is the class structure that allows the elites to prosper and to the masses to flounder. Yeah, and that, they're fighting one another. Race is a convenient aspect for people to divide and conquer. So if you think that the person, the refugee or whatever, and I'm a refugee, you're going to say, it's okay for you, Ed, because you're really good looking, you've got a great personality. Yeah, I get it. That's because I'm Irish, okay? But other people aren't. Not everyone's Irish. I know Joe Biden and everyone wants to be Irish. You just can't do that, people, yeah? Just because, you have to, A, be good looking, and you have to have the woman in the background dying because of this, yeah? Anyway. So the new way of looking at politics, people who actually have a vested interest because you have knowledge. I'd like to see what Danny Kruger's knowledge of real people is and what his background is. And we'll Danny, please come on the show. Don't come into the stock room though, because people will talk about us. Did you go to a public school or a private school or a boarding school? Because they'll talk about us even more. Here's the crack. Over the months, we'll look at aspects of your what do you call that thing? Party manifesto. Right. I'm going to screw you. I'm going to screw down on those aspects. I'm going to compare and contrast them with Danny, bless him, and his what he said he would do pre the last election. We've got a local MP, bless her, she's not over there. She's Michelle Donlan, that stood shoulder to shoulder with the likes of Theresa May, lovely woman. David Cameron, whatever happened to him with that £7.2 million he got allegedly from Greenslade, whatever they were called, when he knew that they were going bankrupt or whatever, and they still got that money as a bailout. Let's actually look at all the money that local politicians were involved in, Michelle and everyone else, through the pandemic, as well as all that, because that's the sort of corruption you've got to be talking about.
We are looking at...
Oh, glory be. Now, I'm not a person that's into politics. We are particularly coming from this. We're a sustainable development organisation. Read about it, people. We're coming from the social aspect. We work with too many people around this country, up and down the country, who, through no fault of their own, are in overcrowded schools, are struggling on a day-to-day basis just to either keep a roof or get a roof over their heads and their families and to feed them. That cannot be possible, surely, or moral, or ethical, or even nice, yeah? In a country that can afford £12 million, people, to pay off someone who's got some sort of court case pending. Anyway, Peter, I want to say thank you, A, for being a teaching assistant or teacher or whatever, because that's a beautiful profession, but also for being brave enough. And Gina Miller, if you listen to this, also you, I know you've been put through loads to do this, to put your head above the parapet, but we would like to help and support as many of the politicians to put their word out as we've done previously. So why wouldn't we do it for you? Can I just congratulate you, say thank you, and we're going to come on to your constituency and look at all the different things. And Danny, if you're watching this, I'll see you in the cake shop. All right, Sam. Nice one. It's a wrap. Spinning out.